Alright, today I'm going to be making eggs and cheese. I'm going to show you how to make eggs and cheese. I have Eggland's Best caged-free eggs, and I also have Parmesan cheese, which has been shaved, that I'm going to be using to make the eggs and cheese. I'm going to have some spices, keep it simple, with ground black pepper, perhaps a little bit of salt, and I'm going to be using white corn tortillas. I'm going to be toasting them inside of my tortilla toaster that I have on the back right here. It's going to go really well with the eggs and cheese. So I'm just going to heat this up, get this hot enough, and meanwhile I'm going to go ahead and mix my eggs so I can make eggs and cheese. So I'm going to make about 3 eggs, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take my eggs and crack-a-lack them inside of the bowl right here. So I'm going to put this right in here. So 1, 2, and 3 eggs. So I have 3 eggs inside of here. Now sometimes people like to add salt and pepper right away. However, I do it a little different. I use nothing but a spoon to beat my eggs, and the reason why I do that is because beating it with a spoon actually gives it a better texturation. So I'm gonna beat my eggs a little bit, and you see it has a nice consistency right going on here. I don't want to beat it too much. I like the eggs not super beaten. And the spoon does it really well. Alright, so I have the eggs. I have the pan on the back heating up. I'm going to be heating the pan on the front. I'm going to bring that to about a high. I'm going to put this down right second. And so with this pan, I have a little bit of driplets of water inside of here, and that will tell me if the pan is hot enough. So in the meantime, I'm going to push back the eggs and talk about the salt that I have. Got this right here. It says light salt with 50% less sodium and table salt. Can be using this. I don't know what it uses in it for. It has potassium in there. So it's light salt. It gives the same salt flavor. And I have 100% black pepper grounded up right here. And I'm going to be using, I like to keep it simple. Sometimes people like throw some sort of herbs in there, and perhaps I'll put a little bit of herb inside of there. Or what kind of salt do I have over here? I just have regular table salt that I can use. Probably put a pinch of that in there. So sometimes people like to mix the salt in there. Maybe I'll do that, but I won't. But the herbs I'll put inside of the mixture right away, because it allows the herbs time to become rehydrated. So I'm just going to take a little bit of the herb, put this in here. See what I'm doing right here? Put a little bit of herbs inside of there. Mix that up like that. And maybe I'll put a little pinch of salt in there just for the giggles. So I have the salt that I have going on right here. So I'm going to take a little bit of salt. Put a little pinch of that in there. Close it up. Put it away. And just mix this up a little bit to get the herbs rehydrated. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add oil to the pan. Right here I have olive oil right here. Trader Joe's. Gonna put a little bit of olive oil, or I like to say olive oil. Put it in there. Once you get this in here, just go ahead and spin it around. If it's too much oil, I dispose of it properly. Put that in here. And there's a little secret punch I have going on right here. So I'm gonna get the oil hot inside of the pan, but I'm gonna add something a little bit nice to this. You're going to be kind of surprised by it. So I'm going to put a little bit of oil in here. A little bit more oil. My pan is really hot. I'm going to cool it down a little bit because I don't want anything to burn. So I have the oil in there. And I have a little surprise. I'm going to add a little bit. Look at that. That's truffle oil. Alright. So I got this from Trader Joe's. This is going to be truffle, eggs, and cheese. So I'm going to take a little bit of that. Pour a little bit of truffle oil in there. Then I'm going to go ahead and take this and pour that in there. Alright, so I have the truffle oil going on inside of that. I have the truffle oil going on in there. I'm going to turn the pan down to about a medium. Get closer in here so you can see this going on, see what's going on. Alright, so at this point, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of ground pepper to it. Maybe a little bit of salt. Now, the reason why I waited to add the pepper to it is because I don't want the flavoration to be overwhelming throughout the egg. I want it to come in doses, and so that's the reason why I did it. So what I'm doing right here with the egg is I'm taking it and just pushing it just a little bit forward, maybe a little bit back, just allowing the egg to go down a little bit. And after it's cooked a little bit, what I like to do is, this is the point where I add the cheese. Okay, so I add the cheese to the top of it just like that. It's still a little bit moist at the top of the egg, which is okay. So I have it in there. And I'm just going to go ahead and just kind of mix in the cheese just ever so slightly. Alright, looking good, looking great. And while that's going on, I'm going to be cooking on the back burner right here. Go ahead and mix this up. You see how I'm mixing this up? It's allowing the cheese and the rest of that liquid egg is going to be cooked inside of there. While that's going on, I'm going to go ahead and add to this hot pan that I have back here the white corn tortilla shells. I'm just going to add one right here. Put it on here. And what it's basically doing is toasterating the tortilla shells back here. You see this? So I have this. It's going to be toasterating, and I'm going to flip that occasionally. Meanwhile, get back in on the eggs. So I have this, and I'm going to be mixing this. And sometimes when you add cheese to it, it allows you to get a nice toasteration to it, if you so choose to. Smell the truffle oil going on in there. Right, so we're going to go ahead and turn this part of the pan off, right here. Then I'm going to come to the back right here, check up on this, cooking it nice. Now, it's important to note that the pan is still hot right here, so you may not want to keep it on one side for too long. You can remove it from heat if you want to. Go ahead and put up the truffle oil. If you want a little bit more truffle flavor, you can put a little bit of truffle oil on top of it. Give that nice truffle cheese flavor. The herbs. And the tortilla shells, when one is done, flip it. Just go ahead and put another one on here. And then just go ahead and keep on cooking through the tortilla shells. And once you have this made right here, you just go ahead and take some of the egg. Go ahead, put that on there like that. You have your breakfast taco, if you want to call it. Breakfast burrito, if you wrap it a little bit more. But you have that. Go ahead and flip that. Seems like it's cooking pretty well. Add that, and just take a great, nice bite of that. You can put a little bit of pepper on top of that, a little bit more truffle oil on it if you want to, or you could just go ahead and eat it like this. I'm going to go ahead and try this. Really good. Truffle, eggs, and cheese. Let's try this out. Really good. Thanks a lot for watching.